What's up? We're back. Oh, I just realized what a tease. What a tease. Just realized I said we won 125 to 123. No, we lost 125 to 123. Magic lose again, this time to the Chicago Bulls, 125 to 123. Kobe White with 44. The season from hell capped off by a homestand to forget. Really, really bad. Like really historically bad homestand by this team. Yeah, we'll talk about it tonight. Welcome to the show. My name's Kevin. This is the Six Man Show Postgame Live. It's presented by Rock'em. Thanks for hanging out with us here tonight as the Magic lose their fifth game in a row. So on that homestand, they went 1-6 with their lone victory coming over the woeful Washington Wizards. They lost in a one-possession game to the Memphis Grizzlies. They lost in what was basically a one-possession game to the Golden State Warriors. They lost in a one-possession game to the Toronto Raptors, and they lost in a one-possession game to the Toronto Raptors, and they lost in a one-possession game to the Chicago Bulls. So of the 6 losses during the homestand, 5 of them were in the final moments. Crushing homestand for this team. Hard to believe. Wow. But we're going to talk about it tonight because that's what we do. This show is brought to you by Rock'em, the world's largest sock store. I wanted to show you guys something. I've only recently started dabbling into the world of severance. We talked about it a little bit on today's episode with Jonathan of the Six Man Show. Did you know that Rock'em has severance socks? Are you kidding me? Of course they do. They've got Mr. Milkshake socks, a.k.a. Mr. Milkshake. They've got, I love these. These are kind of fun. Look at some of the little cameos on these socks. Got a waffle party. Got the baby goats. Got the numbers. Got the key cards. Deviled eggs from the parties. The red ball. All kinds of fun stuff. And they got a Heli R socks. And I love that the product story says your Audi loves these socks. Well, I think Audi, any doesn't matter. We all love Rock'em because they give us this amazing code to get you 20% off your order at rock'em.com all season long. So whether you're buying Orlando Magic socks and underwear or you're buying Severance socks, which you can do now, you can visit rock'em.com and use that code MAGIC20. It'll get you 20% off of your order. Big shout out to Rock'em. Oh, boys and girls. Wow. Here we are again. Another loss. 125-123, as I said. Kobe White with 44 on the night. Not only does it hurt that he drops 44, it hurts that that's a player a lot of Magic fans wanted the Magic to acquire at the deadline. I'm sure the price tag for him was insanely high, but you wonder if it would have been worth it. But yeah, so that adds insult to injury. But again, it's another game where the Magic just can't make enough plays. Tonight they couldn't make enough stops when it comes to Kobe White and couldn't hit shots down the stretch. And on the one hand, like I said, when you review the homestand, you think you go 1-6, which is abysmal, but 5 of those losses were in the final possession. On the one hand, you go, that's nice, right? That at least you didn't get blown out all 6 times. But on the other hand, when you think about the opponents, right? Memphis, Golden State. Memphis is an elite team. Golden State is a good team. But the last 3 ones against Toronto, Chicago, they should not have come down to the final possession, much less you lose it in the final possession. That's where the problem is, because that's just not good enough. We got some super chats to start off the night. Matthew Thomas with a super chat says, fire Mose. Shahin with a super chat says, a 40-piece with KCP on defense. Guys, we need some therapy paid for by the DeVos family. Kidding, they're too cheap for that. And then Jesus Clone says, sorry for calling Kobe dropping 40 on us. Yeah, if you were with us on Tuesday night, it was our friend Jesus who called this, that Kobe White would drop 40. And not only did he, just drop 40, it's his career high. He's never scored this many in an NBA game in his entire life. And because Jesus said that, now the Magic lost tonight. So it's all your fault. Just kidding. And then King the Seventh with a super chat says, people stop complaining about a no timeout, still missed an open game winner and a tying putback. Timeout means nothing. How about KCP actually earn your money? Yeah, I 100% agree. Look, Paolo got a good look. He missed it. Wendell had a really good opportunity and just wasn't aware of the clock, I guess. Like, you just gotta put that up while you're getting the rebound. Like, you just have to be more aware of the clock. It's just the way it is. Matthew, Shahin, Jesus, and King the Seventh, thank you so much for those super chats. Always appreciate those who get involved in the chat. A great way to have your voice heard on the show and also support the channel as well. Always appreciated. But another way you can support the channel is you can hit that like button. You can subscribe to us here at the Six Man Show, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to this on a podcast platform later. Again, subscribing and liking is a great way to help the algorithm encourage other Magic fans to join this community. So, and boy, oh boy, do we need the community right now. Good grief. This is crazy, man. Let me check on, I want to check on the Hawks-Pacers game because the last I saw, the Hawks were winning that game. Did they win the game? They did win the game. So your Orlando Magic are now, if I'm not mistaken, once I refresh this, they are going to be the 9 seed tonight. Okay, ESPN has not updated the standings. I think they literally just won that game. We'll look at that in a second, but I'm pretty sure the Orlando Magic are going to be the 9 seed as this night winds down, which is hard to believe. Hard to believe. And yet, that's how the last couple months have gone. Very believable. Wow. All right. Let's hit some of these messages from the chat. I'm not going to do a ton tonight, guys. A little bit under the weather. But obviously, you know we got to talk about this game because, wow, I'm shell-shocked. Swordfish says, I can't watch this team anymore. I don't blame you. Janine says, Darth, Kevin, loading. Yeah, Sith Lord Kevin is definitely here, as you can tell. Had to do it. 5-game losing streak. It's red till we win. And by the way, guys, the schedule coming up is very difficult. So we might be red for a while. Rough. Noel says, whoever said Kobe White was going to drop 50 last time on the chat wasn't that far off. Yeah, that was Jesus Colon, who I referred to earlier, said he would drop 40. And sure enough, that's exactly what he did. Oh, man. Matthew says, we're 3 buckets away from a 3-game win streak and 500. Crazy. Isn't that wild? That's just crazy. Yeah, and you add the Memphis game at the start of the homestand. You add the Golden State game. Like I said, you are literally 5 possessions away from going 6-1 on the homestand. Instead, you go 1-6. It's crazy, man. Rael says, why not tip dunk it, Dell? Yeah, definitely had to tip it in. Can't come down with that basketball. You can't do it. Can't do it. Matthew says KCP got cooked by Kobe. Yeah. KCP cooked Anthony Black. He cooked KCP. Sorry, I got that backwards. Kobe cooked Anthony Black. He cooked KCP. Like he was just on a roll. Didalo says Imperial March plays. Oh, I should add that to my sound effects over here. Dun 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 dun. I should. That's how it feels right now. Walk the Dog says, mental mistakes, no confidence down the stretch. I 100% agree, especially with the second part. The confidence of this team is absolutely rattled. This team is shook. They are in their own heads at this point. Even some of the most basic things, like how many... I know this team has been turnover prone in stretches, even when the team was good, right? But during this homestand, the amount of just total miscommunications, like guys just throwing the ball where they think someone's going to be and they're not, or someone breaks from their spot and then the ball ends up. It's been wild to see over this homestand. Kevin says, Darth Kevin, 23-game losing streak loading. Well, let's look at the schedule really fast because look, it's the NBA. Anything's possible. But holy smokes, there absolutely could be an elaborate losing streak. This is a 5-game losing streak that we're on right now. At Milwaukee, at Houston, at New Orleans, at Minnesota, at Cleveland versus Houston. Holy smokes. That's insane. That's a brutally difficult 5-game road trip. Which, by the way, if you saw the news today, this game against Cleveland got moved to ABC, a 1 p.m. Sunday tip on ABC, which means the Orlando Magic are going to play 3 games, because this is a back-to-back. They're going to play the 13th, the 14th, and 1 p.m. on the 16th. They're playing 3 games in 65 hours, I think is the calculations that I had. Actually, I'm going to find it. I wrote this down. 3 games in 3 cities across 1,682 miles of flight in 65 hours. That is ludicrous from the NBA. Like, how dare you? How dare you do that to us? But anyway, that's a 5-game road trip. All very difficult. Obviously, New Orleans on paper is the easiest one, but I mean, we all know what that means. We all know what that means. So yeah, there could be a very, very bad 10-game losing streak on our hands. Maybe more. Who knows? Oh, I think I saw a super chat come through. 2 of them, actually. One is also from Jesus, who we heard from earlier. OMG Wendell with his J.R. Smith moment. Now, that's a little harsh. The J.R. Smith moment that's an all-time blunder. This was him just miscalculating how much time he had left, and that's a little different. But I understand the premise. And Nick Monk says KCP only cares about his highlights for Instagram. So sad. RIP. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with KCP this summer. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Walk the Dog says we could lose 10 in a row easy. It's what it feels like, man. Very daunting stretch here. Very daunting. Let's see. Rael says Kobe White cooked us. Yep. Our friend Santi says, I am at a loss for words. Each loss looking worse than the last. My love for this team keeps me watching, but man, does it hurt to put myself through this. I could not agree more, my friend. I am right there with you. It is painful. You know how many times between Sunday, Tuesday, and tonight I've sat up watching this game? It'd be after 9 o'clock, and I'm miserable watching this team. And I'm like, man, I wish I was a normal person because I just want to go to sleep. I'm tired. Like tonight, I don't feel very good. I think I'm getting sick. I really need to go to sleep. But I love this basketball team too much. So I'm just going to stay up and watch this game and be miserable. And I'm right there with you, man. It's tough. Tough. Brandon Faust says another player having the game of their life against us. Man, it just happens all the time. Chris D says, I'm sitting here and I'm not even sure what to type. Just stunned. Here's the thing. If this was a week ago, I would have been shell-shocked. Like, to the point of just being speechless on here. But the 2 Toronto games before this have just set this game up. Like, it's just, this is what's happening right now. This team is totally cursed. The amount of lack of luck is outrageous. And I'm just used to it at this point. What I'm really disappointed about, chat, I'm really disappointed that I'm halfway through scrolling through the messages, and I haven't seen one person complain about the officiating reviews tonight. I'm disappointed, chat. I'm still going. I still haven't seen one. Because that's some of the worst review stuff I've ever seen in my life tonight. What were they doing, man? What were they doing? Good grief. Devastate says KCP let up 102 games. Wow. How about that? I didn't think about that. 56 from Steph, 44 from Kobe White, 100. A hundo in 2 games. Good grief. It's not all KCP, but I understand your point. That's for sure. That's crazy, man. Kate Will says, second game in a row, I laughed to keep from crying at the end. Yeah. I feel that. Walk the Dog said, Dell was so worried about his shot getting blocked. He always has to hesitate and make sure he can get it up. No time for that. Yep, 100% agree. Totally lost track of time. or thought he had more time, or I don't know. Tough. Let's see what else we got here. Rise and Shine says, crazy this isn't the same team that took Cleveland to a Game 7 last year. Yeah, this is nothing like that basketball team. Nothing. Nothing at all. Janine says, Kev still shows up under the weather, but not J.I. Yeah, that's interesting. Late scratch today. Very interesting. LGF says, Darth Kevin is back. You know it. 5-game losing streak. Here we are. Janine says 5 possessions in a game robbed from us by the refs, confirmed by the last 2-minute report. Yeah, the Tuesday game against Toronto with some pretty important missed calls there down the stretch. Pretty important. Axis says check Tankathon. Yeah, if what I said earlier is correct, let me refresh the standings here, make sure I'm accurate. Yep. The Atlanta Magic are now the 9 seed, which means you, my friends, just like Axis says, can go to tankathon.com. You can go to tankathon.com and simulate the NBA draft lottery and see where your Orlando Magic end up. They right now have the 11th best odds to get the number 1 overall pick. I'm going to simulate it. And we did not move. So we're sitting at 11. Wow. But the thing is, you're only 1 game back of 10. You're 3 games back of 9, which is Chicago. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Hard to believe, but that's where we are. That's where we are. All right, let's take a look at some scores around the league. Or sorry, no, let's do the box score first. I almost forgot the box score. It's not much, but it's something. Franz with 18, 6 assists, 2 boards, 2 steals, and a block. Not the best Franz night. Did not shoot the ball well. Was kind of beat up in this game. Took a couple falls, a couple hits. I was a little concerned about one of them. I thought he might have gotten hurt, but played through it. Paolo did not shoot the ball well either. Both of those guys combined for 0 for 8 from 3, especially when you think about Tuesday night's game when they shot lights out. Totally different night tonight. But Paolo ends up with 20 points, 9 boards, 3 assists. Wendell had 17 and 5. KCP with 19 tonight, which I think is probably, I was looking at this the other day, that's probably a top 10 game for him scoring-wise this season. Might even be like top 8 or 6 or something like that. His season high is 24. So having 19, he's got to be up there. Shot the ball well. Can't complain about that. And then Cole I thought was pretty good tonight. Very aggressive. Got to the line 6 times. Ends up with 20 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, a steal, and a block. The bench, however, didn't give you a whole lot. 4 points for Jet Howard, 8 for Goga, 8 for AB. Corey Joseph did not score. Tristan Da Silva, 6 points on 1 of 7 shooting, 0 for 3 from 3. And then Caleb Houston played 7.5 minutes and gave you 3 points. Knocked down a big 3 and then bricked the next one so bad. Magic shoot 9 of 33 from 3 for 27% from 3 tonight. Not great, especially after you shoot 41% on Tuesday, man. 54 points in the paint for the Magic. Chicago with 25 fast break points, man. They killed you tonight. Didn't matter if the Magic made it, missed it, turned the ball over. Chicago was out and running, and they burned the Magic multiple occasions to the tune of 25 fast break points. Just 11 turnovers for the Magic. Losing a game in which you only turn the ball over 11 times is really wild. Really wild. Looks like we just got a super chat. This one's from Jalen Lawson. Says, sucks to say, but I think Mo's lost the locker room. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard to say. Obviously, you look at the results and the eye test says that this team is not together. This team is not the cohesive unit that we're used to seeing. But I don't know. I don't know what the morale is like inside the locker room, right? Like, is this team still emotionally together? Are they still emotionally behind Coach Mose? I don't know. Only those guys know that. But it's very possible. I hope that's not the case. I love Jamal Mosley. I hope he's the coach for a long time. I'm still not out on him. I think this season he's been dealt an insanely challenging hand. He hasn't been perfect. But yeah, I'm not out on Mosley yet. That's for sure. That's just me though. I do understand if people are though. I definitely can't blame anyone for that. All right, let's just keep going while we're here. Let's look at the scores around the league. Oh, interesting. Where did that go? Wait. Oh, okay. Warriors did beat the Nets. 121 to 119. Celtics beat the Sixers. No surprise there. The Hawks beating the Pacers. That is a surprise. And like I said, that's what moved the Magic down to the 9 seed. Bulls beat the Magic. Rockets are going to beat the Pelicans, it looks like. And then the Lakers and Knicks just underway there in Los Angeles. Let's take a look at the standings. As I mentioned earlier, I'm just going to refresh it one more time. And we'll see that the Orlando Magic are now the 9 seed, half game back of the 8-seeded Hawks, a game and a half back of the 7-seed Miami Heat, and now 6.5 games behind the Detroit Pistons for that 6th playoff seed. They're 3.5 games up on Chicago. And they are, 6.5 games up on Brooklyn. So, guys, and Brooklyn just lost this game. That Brooklyn game is not counted to the standings yet. So they're going to be 7 games up on Brooklyn once that gets updated. So those of you that are like really hoping that we truly tank and miss postseason basketball entirely, mathematically, that is just almost impossible, right? 7 games. And tonight was game number 59, 64. So you have 18 games left. A 7-game gap with 18 games left is bonkers. Like the Magic would have to lose out, which I guess, like with this stretch we just looked at coming up, if the Magic do lose another 5 in a row and this ends up being a 10-game losing streak, I mean, it definitely would close the gap. That's for sure. But odds are, guys, it's the Magic are going to be in the play-in. Right now, almost certainly looks like the 9-10 game, possibly even hosting it against the Bulls. Maybe go on the road. I don't know, but this is getting very close to a lock. Like in the next 10 days or so, we could probably almost lock in if the Magic are going to be in the play-in or not. Which is pretty wild to say, but that's just the way it is. Let's go to the chat one final time tonight. Like I said, we're going to cut a little bit of a shorter show tonight. I'm just not feeling great. I need to get some sleep. Got a big week coming up. I got stuff at work, but then next week, we have our big watch party Friday at the Stadium Club at Caribe Royale. Hope everyone comes out for that game against Minnesota, next Friday. I am fired up for that watch party, even though this team is really struggling right now. A good old watch party with diehard Magic fans with some great food, great atmosphere, nothing like it. So yeah, hope you guys come out to that next Friday. Also, watch party this Saturday. Can't forget that. I won't be there for that one, but it is at Rivals there on Wall Street for the game Saturday against Milwaukee. All right, back to the chat. One final time. Greedy Jawa says it's not about Kobe White. It's about not having any type of offensive consistency. I think both can be true. I think the second part of your statement is 100% true and has been true for a very long time. This team is struggling offensively, lacks consistency, and at the same time tonight, it is about Kobe White because the dude dropped 44. I think they're both accurate. BMAX says this might be the worst team in the NBA right now. I thought about that. After the final buzzer sounded, I literally thought about that. I was like, if the Magic were playing any of the other 29 teams, I know Vegas would favor the Magic over. I mean, Vegas favored the Magic tonight. I think they ended up being like 7.5 point favorites tonight, and they blew that. But I think most NBA teams, the Magic would not be favored against. But I would still probably pick the other teams outside of Washington. Guys, Washington is really bad. Like, they're so bad. I know they just won a game, but it was against the Utah Jazz yesterday or 2 days ago, whatever it was. And Utah's very bad too. But we've lost to Utah twice this year, so who knows? Who knows? Like I said, last couple thoughts here. Jesus says, is there any way we can get the number 4 pick or top 4 pick? Yes, it's very possible. If the Magic keep losing, and if they were somehow able to, I forget what the number is. I think if you get into the top 10 of like top 10 odds of the lottery, I think you have like a 20% chance of landing top 4, which isn't a lot. But it's the 9 seed, excuse me. Wait, if is that right? Yes. No, yeah, okay, yes, that's what it is. Not the 9 seed in the East standings. If you end up as the 9th best odds in the lottery, you have a 20% chance at top 4. That was way too many words. But yes, top 4 is very possible if the Magic keep doing this. Very, very possible. Chris D says, I can't see Mosley surviving this if the free fall continues the rest of the year. I like Mosley a lot, but the vibes are not good. Yeah. Oh, if this keeps up for the rest of the year, yeah. As much as I love Mosley and I don't think this is his fault, yeah, I don't know how you survive that. They've got to find a way to turn it around though. I think Jamal Mosley is here for the rest of the year. I would be stunned if they let him go during the season. Like, you only have 18 games left. I think he's going to see it out one way or another, and then the summer they'll make some decisions. Luke B says, you're right, the reviews were crazy. Yeah, those freaking reviews were stupid. It was insane how many and how long they took. Crazy, man. Crazy. Gabriel says, Gabriel says, no excuses anymore. This team is straight cheeks. Yep. Been that way for a long time. Tough stuff. David T says, we should sign Dwight while he's here. He plays defense. That would be something. Yeah, how about that? Dwight Howard getting inducted into the Orlando Magic Hall of Fame. I believe it was March 24th. I wish they didn't do it the same on the day of the Lakers game. Like, of all the teams, are we doing it the Lakers game? Really? But whatever. That'll be cool to see. Majestic B says, honestly, Kevin, you are saying that because you just interviewed Mosley. You and your heart are done with him. That is 100% unequivocally false. Absolutely not. Nope. My heart is actually more with him than my head, right? My heart is more there because I am such a believer in how he has changed the culture of this team. Like, the whole organization. Think about how it was 4 years ago. Nobody gave a rip about playing for the Orlando Magic. The players that were here in 2021 and earlier, they didn't, I shouldn't say everyone. Like Nikola Vucevic loved representing Orlando. Him representing Orlando meant something. Other guys, it was just a job. It's just what they did, right? Jamal Mosley made it mean something to wear an Orlando Magic jersey again. This team cares about this team, this franchise, this fan base. I will never, ever forget Jamal Mosley doing that. Regardless of the X's and O's, regardless of the struggles the team is facing, you cannot downplay that. You also cannot downplay what Jamal Mosley did in the month of December. What he did in the month of December was a masterful job of moving all the right pieces at all the right times, leading this team on a crazy run. We had zero business doing it. Zero business doing that. So it's just not accurate. Not accurate at all. If anything, again, it's my head that goes, historically across major sports, professional sports, a stretch like this, a coach doesn't survive it. They just don't. That's where my head is. Like, it doesn't feel survivable, but there's 18 games to maybe turn it around, and we'll see. Yep, we'll see. Weltman is a whole different question, though. Weltman not making a move before the deadline is egregious to me, but whatever. Chris D says, we'll always have I am Matt Browning. Yes, we always will. Always will. Legendary. One of the great moments of this season, for sure. Great moment. Oh, man. Just want to remind you guys, please check out rock'em.com and use that code MAGIC20. I know this is tough times right now for this team, but hey, they've got all kinds of other teams as well. NFL, NHL, college sports too. If you're a fan of other teams, check them out at rock'em.com. And again, that code MAGIC20 is good all Orlando Magic season long for 20% off your order. Luis Rosario says, so many empty seats in the lower bowl tonight. Yeah, it's a little strange because it was the rescheduled game. But I don't know if that's a good enough excuse or not, but also doesn't help that the team has just collapsed, but whatever. Last couple thoughts here before we call it a night. Didala says, losing Suggs and Mo feels like the heart and soul of the team got ripped out, and now the culture isn't the same. Mosley has earned the right to get it back going next season. IMO. I think I agree. Again, I want to see how these last 18 games go. If this is a true free fall and this team can only win a couple more games the rest of the way, might have to rethink it. But if they can salvage some sort of a halfway respectable run over these last 18 games, I'm 100% with you. Jamal Mosley has to be given a chance. So that's what I think. But, oh, man. All right. Let's just call it there, guys. Tough night. Really, really hard to believe. And at the same time, totally believable. Like I said, next game Saturday at Milwaukee. This road trip begins. It's going to be, on paper, it's going to be brutal, guys. I'm just going to be honest. But I hope you'll stick with us through it all. I'll be back with you on Saturday after that one. Again, reminder, watch party. Rivals on Wall Street for Saturday's game. Go hang out with some fellow Orlando Magic fans. And then after the game, join us right here on YouTube, as always. So enjoy your weekend, everyone. We'll see you then, and let's go Magic.